Hello and good evening, commanders. This is Shadow Sun with another stream. It's been a long time since I streamed for you, but this is on request also one of my teammates. Yep, you have to know there are a lot of things happening around, and I actually was involved with the Tayon Isla Historical Society, bringing them home. Also, the war in Tayon Isla. I also made some faction friends with the ARCC guys, and their commitment and their work that they provided and their selflessness made me join them. So basically I am now an ERCC guy, and also I still do things for a group that's called the Rexla Independent Rexla Hunters. So IR. Okay, so that's that. There are a lot of good guys there as well. Good commanders you can play along. So this is just a few things that happened to me so I was away, but I'll try to do some more vids for you. And this time I am going to introduce you, of course, on Xbox, so you have to find the special keys for that on your PC or other versions. And we are doing an FSS, so it's a scan when you arrive to a system. Okay, let me show it to you. If you press Epsilon, you have to go to first to sorry, not Epsilon, but Epsilon and up the right upper button. You would use the FSS mode, but you cannot. So first of all, you have to go to
Frameshift drive charging.
Okay, just in a second we are going into that mode. I'm close to something, so I cannot charge up.
2, 1, engage.
Okay, I did this a long time ago, so you have to reduce your speed to the minimum, and then you can press Epsilon, and holding Epsilon you will press the right button to enter FSS mode. And here we are. When you first enter this mode, on the bottom left you can see now 30% is mapped. At times you can see 100% mapped. That might mean that either that system has also just one star and some few bodies just close to that star, so you are in the vicinity and that's mapped as you enter. Or you can get 100% initially when you are here, because that is a pre-scanned system, so a system that everybody knows. It's kind of a game thing. At this point you have 30%, because when you enter this system you actually received information on the main star and some of the bodies close to it, so it actually maps that. So if now I press A, I'm sending out a pass, and the pass will actually discover things for me in that in the system. So what is discovered? As you can see, here is something. Okay, thank you very much. I didn't want to do this. This is just an NPC. It's much worse if you find a player and you play with this with a player. You might not get away, not even now, maybe. Okay, again, 0 throttle, going back to the mode, and as you can see, here is already something that you can discover. These are usually all the way down here at the low frequencies, and if you can check, it's filtered spectral analysis low, These are usually signals for different things like convoys. Let us check some others here. As you can see, ceremonial comms. Okay, so basically here, down here, at the low bottom place, these are usually ships or some other things like emissions, degraded emissions. As you go upwards, here you will find the bases and other things. I have my chat window covering me, so I cannot tell you what is that, but you will have concentrated signals. And as you go upwards, there are a lot of other things you will find here. And for example, here, if you go, there is something glowing. You have to go on that spot and then move on this bar to find what it is. As you can see, this is the point when you can scan that. Of course, if it's something that has already some other things beneath, so there are levels, so you go down a level and then you scan everything on that level, this one. So I'll try to do that. As you can see in the information, there is one location that's human, and there are resources that you can check at the top right corner. It's very interesting if you have here not human, but for example geological sites, and you actually exit the whole thing. You will not see okay, sorry. So basically, if you exit the whole thing, if you had a geological, they will not be shown here. It's because you're one thing too far away from that. The second thing, you have to scan the body or the ring to appear here. So basically, when you actually go into the FSS mode and you try to scan those things, if you scan the system and scan the bodies, you will actually see all these kinds of things. So basically you actually search for these. I know already that this is something that has multiple choices below. Basically you will find that thing. Oh, and this is the new thing. There is an error. Okay, we'll scan this. We have an issue with the FSS scanner at these times. Also, top right corner, you see scanning. You might have to wait for it. If there are a lot of locations, a lot of things, the scanning is slow. It's made by default by the developers, so you actually stay and search for things. So if you can see, it's Army Jungle B4A. Let me show it to you. We have geological and human things. Okay, B4A. If we check it here, B4A, we only see the human signs, the conflict zones, but we do not see the geological things because you first discovered it there, and if you care, you can go to B4A and check them out. Also, if we go to the system map now, let us check B4A, it is this down here. I switch here in the menu, and there we go. It says there is volcanism, silicate vapor geysers. So basically the volcanism will show us that there is something on the landable. So basically that there are geological sites. Here there is no such thing. Maybe because I didn't scan it yet. Yep. But for example here, this is landable, but no volcanism. You also have to watch because there are times when you have a non-landable body, but it says volcanism, whatever. You don't have to deal with that because you cannot land and you cannot collect things from there. Okay, so basically we go back. And these things here are are quite okay, but here are, like on this place, there are the gas giants usually, and here are, as you can see, this green thing is Earth-like or ammonia world or water worlds. So these parts are actually the most valuable things in the game for DSS scanning. So not FSS, but DSS scanning. With FSS scan you get a lot of money, but going to DSS those, only those, for example, will get you even more cash. So basically, as you go on, 76%, and you'll try to find things. I also do all the things, all the signals that I can find, so even encoded emissions, because at times at this part of this scale there are unique finds that you will not you will have to scan for those. Also, if you already did, now we are neglecting this part because we will say, okay, at times you don't see these flashing things too good at the screen, and you search and you search and you still see that you are 96% and you cannot find that thing. So basically you come out of that, you go into the navigation pane and you find the unexplored system, you select it, you turn towards that system, and then you go back here, and you're actually facing it here in the scanner. So basically this is how you can find those systems that otherwise are not easily findable. Also, there are at times that there are non-human signals as well, so you have to watch for those. If you want to find, for example, guardians and Fargoids, you will have to do those scannings. This, when you see something that's interesting here with locations, you'll be able to note down the number and go exactly at that point to finish your work, to scan. Or if you want to scan everything, that's a little bit slower, but again, it can be a good thing for you if you're interested in exploration. Okay, we still have some things to search. So basically, if you want to find out what I was talking about, special signals, you can see. Okay, bad clusters usually don't give you shit, but who knows, maybe something is hidden there, you never know. So that's why I always scan everything here, even the lowest part here of the spectral analysis. We are 95%. I have something hidden here. Here we go.
System scan complete.
And I have it on 100%, so I am moving on from here. For example, high metal content world is also good paying thing, but not as good as other thing on this this part of the spectrum. If you go to if you obtain the permit for Sol and you go scanning there, you will see things that are not pre-scanned and they are unknown. For example, unknown probes are also on this part of the of this bar. So go to Sol and try to check those, and you will find interesting things. You cannot pick up things like that maybe, but you have a lore, or you can check ancient technologies. Also, if you need to, you can look for generation ships. So they will not be presented here, but somewhere along this part. Okay, so when you scanned everything, what you can do, you can go here and do find the interesting things and go there, or you can go to the system map. If you are looking for places, you can look for volcanism. No volcanism here. Iron magma. This is something you can research. And again, if you go down here, you see planet materials that might help you gather things. So let's go to another system now. I need to select that. It's been a long. I've done a video, so I might not be as great in doing this. I still have to work on that. Okay, I selected it again, and let's go there. I tried to mess around a lot to make a miss jump, but never succeeded, even with combinations and switches and whatever. Okay, so we enter the system again. For scanning, you will just bring it throttle to minimum. You enter that, and as you can see, this system is 100%. Now we do the A for energy pulse. And we have one bodies because there is only a sun. Actually, the suns are not presented here, but as you can see, you have only low things. These are usually not that interesting things. Only if you're gathering things or you're looking for example, Rexler. You never know that where did FDev hide information or interesting stuff. So that's the reason I always do that. Also, if you have, for example, 1 or 2 stars, not sun but stars, you don't have actually orrery there, but what you can have is an imaginative line, as you can see here, and usually all these things are on that imaginary line. So basically, you as you follow that imaginary line, you get around, and you can pick up all these degraded emissions when there is nothing else. Okay, so probably that's what I can make of the FSS utility. I love to explore, and because I'm looking for Rexlers, everybody knows I do scan everything with FSS in a system, and with DSS I scan things that are of interest for me. So this was today's stream. Thank you for listening. Shadowson out.